So this movie is about a new feature in Excel 2013 called Office Apps. You can download and install apps on your smartphones. Well, now you can do it in Excel or the Office products. So we're going to talk about finding the Office apps, and then we're going to look at installing an Office app or how to do that. We're going to use an Office app and close the apps once we're done using them. So Office apps can be found on the Insert tab in the Apps for Office dropdown. At the top of this dropdown, you'll be shown displayed the recently used apps. If you don't see any there, it's because you haven't used any recently. In fact, at this point, you may not even have any installed. So I can select one of these that I've recently used, or I can go to the See All and see all of the Office apps. I've only got 3. This is a list of the apps that I've already installed, but there are other apps that I can access. The featured apps, for instance, which are either popular apps or apps that are being promoted some way. Going back to My Apps, if I want to search for even more apps than the featured apps, I can find apps at the Office store. And you'll have to log into your Office account, which I've already done, and I've selected to stay logged in, just to bypass that. So here we have more apps that are listed. Some of them are free. I think most of them are free, and some of them you pay for. And if you select one that you have to pay for, you'll be taken to a payment screen. You can find out more information about any one of these apps by left-clicking on it, where you get some details, reviews if there are some available, the requirements. To install it, you left-click Add, and they want me to confirm that I want the app. I'm going to left-click Continue, and I'm getting some information about how to find apps. So I'm going to close this website, go back to Office Apps, See All, and now I have 4 apps because I just installed that D&B, that Dun & Bradstreet app. To use the apps, we can launch them from this list, or we can launch them from the recently used list. The Bing Maps, and my movie list. These apps are now functional in this workbook. Once you get done with the app, you can close the app in one of 2 ways, depending upon if it's displayed in a task pane or if it's displayed with a floating graphic. If it's a task pane that's displayed, you just close the task pane. If it's a floating graphic, you select the graphic and press Delete. That doesn't delete or uninstall the Office app. It just eliminates it from the active status in your workbook. So those are apps for Office. We talked about how to find an app, either by looking at the featured apps or going to the Office store, how to install an app by selecting it and just simply adding it, how to use an app by launching it within the workbook, and finally how to close an app.